What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with another live stream here on a Tuesday evening. Always a lot to talk about. We've got a possible, likely OMI exchange listing imminent. We've got AI coins pumping left and right. PAL AI, Aitech, Palm AI, AGI. All the AIs have been on fire. Mcade has been up. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about SkyPath security, which is something that I talked about last stream. Talk a little bit more about that one. That's a super small micro cap that I added. Going to talk about the new layer one that I added to the portfolio, Devve or Devve. I'll give an overview of it along with, I made one of my charts for it. I love layer ones first and foremost, right? So I'm a sucker for a good layer one. And so I love them. I love a brand new layer one as well that has potential. This one has potential. How much potential is the question? That's a question I'm going to answer in this live stream. It's one of the questions I'm going to answer as I do a deep dive at a chart that I made, kind of scaling out the dilution that we're going to incur, that the coin's going to incur over the next year. So always a lot to talk about. I got a new chart for you guys. I think you're going to like it. Let's see who we got here in the chat. MVE in the house. What's going on? Smarty Pants 187. I like that 187, man. You must have grown up in the 90s. Fork on ETH is going to hit 100 mil plus now to March. Just watch. Not familiar with Fork, but I hope it does. I'll take a look. Has the biggest names invested from Shibtoshi and even stablecoin people. So many good coins out there. I will take a look at that. Walshy in the house. What's going on? Yes, looking forward to a nice, chilled chat. And be active in the chat. I like to engage. I go back and forth between what I have prepared and what you guys have to say. Captain Sugar Rush in the house. What's going on? Marcus Jones. Yes. Let's get some degen alts for sure. I'm not familiar with Sweet, John. Eli Stanky in the house. What's good? Season 3 OG in the house. Pixel, good friend of the channel, in the house. He's going to YOLO into Danny AI. Is that a Danny the Bull coin? VLRM in the house. What's up, John? Yeah, I'm not familiar with Sweet, but I will check that out. R Bear in the house. Pixel. Yeah, so many good layer ones. So Devve is on the table to talk about today. I love layer ones because when you talk about market cap and prospective market cap and what can run into the billions, a lot of people, many of us have OMI and we talk about it, but there's only so high a digital collectibles coin can go. It's only so high a gaming coin can go. When you get into these these infrastructure plays, the layer ones, those are what I see as the the big tech of crypto. When you talk about parallels to the stock market, you've got your big tech companies that command the highest market caps, your Metas, your the big seven out there, Apple, Microsoft, right? Those big tech companies. That's what these layer ones represent in the crypto world. They're infrastructure plays. And so I like them because I like the potential market caps that they can reach. They can really get up into the billions if they do well, right? So I'll take a look at Devve today. And it gave me perspective because I recently bought it. I've got a pretty decent bag now. And it gives me perspective on how to value it against something like Tectum and these other emerging chains. So we'll get into it. B Dubs, thank you, my friend, for the super, always supporting the channel member. I appreciate you and your contributions and your support of the channel. Thank you. Brian, love your channel. Thanks, Brian. Appreciate you coming through. SoCal, my like police. Yes, make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Jess in the house. What's good, Jess? Jess is here from Sky. And I'll be talking, I'll be reiterating basically what I said in my last video. And I've got a bit of news on Sky in terms of, not news, but little announcement. Nothing major. SoCal in the house. Again, I said hi to you. Boosted 98 Rush in the house. Sky in the house. A lot of Sky fam here. The Sky community seems to be pretty strong. You know, I put out a tweet on SkyPath explaining why I liked it the other day. And, you know, immediate retweets, a lot of engagement and interaction from the community. So that's also something that I like coming out of such a small cap, a micro cap like SkyPath. DK in the house. Syed, also from Sky. So I'm going to get started now. I gave 6 minutes people to get in. 40 people here already. I'll start with the OMI stuff because I think that the majority of people who watch the channel are in OMI. And it seems like there's some sustained positive momentum going as a new exchange is now likely imminent. And I'll put it up if you're not on X often. Let's go to bookmarks. The speculation started, I want to say yesterday. And then Crypto Bro tweeted out, you know, the people were speculating on BitGet as they tracked 71 million OMI tokens being sent to BitGet exchange. Crypto Bro did a little investigation on it. And his conclusion was it appears that OMI is going to be listed on BitGet. Here's what we know. 71 million OMI tokens were transferred from the OMI business development wallet to BitGet Holdings wallet. The BitGet wallet seems to be a wallet that BitGet uses prior to listings. Since BitGet already supports OMI via Uniswap token swaps, listing OMI would not be difficult for them. This speculation has been bolstered just 4 hours ago by who I'm assuming to be Foster Hilt, who's the Akomi socials manager now. And he tweeted out, we released an update on OMI token priorities for 2024 with a strong focus on accessibility and utility for the token. Make sure to join the Akomi Discord to stay up to date with news or announcements as they are released. So it looks like OMI is going to get listed on an exchange. Finally, right? It's been a long time coming. The community has waited 3 years since infamously, you know, Dan said in May of 2021 that 4 or 5 exchanges were lined up, and those exchanges didn't come last cycle. And then over the bear market, you know, we know about the DocuSign incident, and so it's a positive step for OMI, the community. Now, BitGet is not, you know, it's not Binance, right? But, you know, it's still solid nonetheless. It's, if you look it up on CoinMarketCap, BitGet is ranked 12th in terms of volume. So not quite, you know, the big boys, Binance, Coinbase, but, you know, it's not a terrible exchange. From what I hear, it's not available in the US, right? Should be noted. And I don't expect a US listing for OMI until there's regulatory clarity. But from what I hear, there's, you know, good usage out of it in the UK and in Asia, which perhaps plays into their strategy, right, to target Asia for Vivi and possibly Omi. So would be continued positive sentiment that we've seen from, in my opinion, the shift in sentiment, we hit rock bottom, I would say, in December, early January, as the whole market had taken off. Omi remained stagnant, right? A reflection of a lack of progress, I think, on deliverables. Crypto XR came about, and anytime there's a congregation of the community, there's positive sentiment, right? Word, things come out, word gets spread. It's positive for the community. That was followed by MCP, actual utility being released, which has a two-pronged effect, right? First is now the MCP points mean something in the Vivi app. And two, now that staking that OMI token means something in the Vivi app. So that gives that soft utility, gives a little more meaningful utility. I said in my last OMI video that I would look for more positive sentiment, that positive sentiment to continue now, because South by Southwest is the next event, and that's only 4 weeks away, right? So that's going to be another community event. There are going to be new announcements likely to come out of there, right? We already know that Marvel has said that they released something on their, I forget what it is, but it's like a new foray into digital comics in conjunction with leader in the field, Vivi. So that will continue the positive momentum, coupled with likely a music vertical. Right? I mean, OG Vault said that in his conversation with David, you said this, it makes sense, South by Southwest, one of the biggest music festivals in America, that Vivi being there would be an announcement about a music vertical. Couple that with bronze tickets and the next season of, staking coming about. Things are moving in the right direction. There is now a reversal of sentiment, and it's starting to reflect in the price of OMI. All right, so all good things. I want to thank Maxwell here for the bear money. Appreciate you, Maxwell. But let's take a look at the OMI price. It's up about 5% on the day. We got rid of that zero recently. It's been holding strong, which is what you want to see. You want to see build out of strength in this 00 area, some consolidation before it makes another move up to test the next area of resistance, which would be, right around, well, let's see. Let me go max. Wow. After you get past the 1-2, there's not much in the way to 002. So, on chart starting to look better. Fundamentals, more importantly, fundamentals are starting to improve as we actually have utility for MCP and by proxy, the OMI token. Now, all's that to say, there's some euphoria, and people are like, OMI's on fire. I want to always present a balanced perspective. OMI is just now catching up with the likes of Mana and Sandbox, right? It's up about, I want to say 80% from its low, maybe 100% now. 0055, 00055 to 0011, right? So it's up about 100% from its low. But that's pretty much in line with Sandbox, which came up over 100% in December, slipped a little. Mana, very similar on chart. Right? Mana came from 28 cents, popped to over 56 cents, about 100%, down a little since then. Flow. Let's look at Flow Chain, which is an NFT blockchain. Not quite the same, but also came up from, It's up about a little over 100%. So it's not like OMI is all of a sudden outperforming, right, the market. It's that OMI is catching up to the market, which is perfectly fine, because a lot of the negative sentiment and the frustrations was because it was lagging the market. And, in turn, people feared it getting left behind for the bull run, right? So as long as they continue to deliver on these deliverables and what they've promised for the last few years, I can see OMI keeping up with the market and, getting those multiples during this cycle. Now, how high will it go? Time's going to tell. I've talked a lot about my perspective on, breaking all-time highs, and I don't think it's going to be easy to break all-time highs. I think you need to have my experience in crypto has taught me to be prepared for multiple outcomes, right? And so as an OMI holder, I am prepared for multiple outcomes. I'm prepared for a new all-time high. I'm also prepared to fall short of that. So this is the game that we play, and you need to be prepared for multiple outcomes. But I'm going to get into a chart on, one of the charts that I made today. I spent some time I laid out eight tokens that I'm invested in, that a lot of people that follow this channel have. Mcade's in there, OMI's in there, Tectum's in there, some of the gaming stuff, games for a living, playable games. And I laid them out side by side and projected multiples like 10x, 20x, 50x, and what market cap it would bring them to. And what that does is kind of give you perspective on, where your biggest gainers could be. So I'll break that out later. That's got OMI in there. But it's going to be exciting, and I'm excited to see what's next, because it does look like this could be the year that they deliver on many of the things, right? OMI to NFT is a possibility now with the new web app, right? We've talked about that before. And so it's just a matter of them, finalizing things and coming through. But we'll see. I'm going to circle back to OMI a little later. I do have a VV OMI stream coming Thursday alongside Mr. MC1 Sanjay and Michael Campa, two great community members, for a No Bull episode. And we're going to chop it up in a VV roundtable. Let me get back to the chat, and then I'm going to get into SkyPath. Let me just jump back here. A lot of SkyPath people up in here. Good to see. And, there's a reason why I like this token, so I will reiterate it here. And it's a very small token, right? I'm not a market cap, a low cap market cap chaser. I don't chase things just because they have a $1 million market cap or they're sub $1 million. I don't ape into things. I've got to see something in a project that I like in order to, start a position in it. And SkyPath stands out as a bit unique to me. What X potential for Sky? So I'll talk about this. I'm going to circle back to this question in a second. A lot of Sky people here. We'd love to hear your thoughts on what utilities you look for in projects. So utilities that I look for in projects are just valid use cases where you have to use the token. Like the token makes sense, right? And so it's different for every project. If it's a gaming project, it's that you are maybe, utilizing that token within that gaming ecosystem to purchase NFTs, and it's the native token for the game. If it's a blockchain, obviously it's the native token for the chain. And so it really depends on the ecosystem. And but utilities shouldn't be forced. And I look for tokens to be the native currency, so to speak, of the projects. Marcus is positive for OMI, as they also said wouldn't put on exchanges till it had utility. Yep. Yeah. So good things on the way, it seems, for OMI. Kumo in the house. What's good, brother? So SkyPath, let's get into a little, and I'm going to circle back to OMI a little later. SkyPath is super small. All right, so it's at a little under 2 cents, but the market cap is only about $700,000, right? So super small market cap. I had planned to go over the white paper today, but I didn't get to it before the stream, so I'll do that in another stream. Super small cap, and the reason why I like it, I like the market cap, obviously, but it's let me pull it up. Yeah. So it's tied to a working product. It's already being used. It's a security assessment, threat assessment platform that aids first responders in, reacting and communicating with people who are in danger, right? God forbid there's a live shooter, that sort of thing. And they work with institutions, educational institutions, schools, things of that nature. So one, it's a working project, right? Working product. They have partnerships already. I know a school district in Rhode Island already using the product. Two, they use, pretty high-tech technology, AI to pump out reports and spatial computing and things like that to map out, areas. From what I hear, the technology is pretty substantial. And the team is made up of, you've got, let me pull up on a bookmarked. Here we go. So you look at the team, they've got Pete Gaynor. He's their emergency management advisor. He's previously served as acting secretary of Homeland Security under Trump, right? He's also was the administrator for FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, right? So he's overseen the agency's recovery efforts following disasters, including wildfires in California, tornado outbreaks, severe storms, flooding, etc. So it's a working product. They've got someone of like this stature on the team. It's on the AVAX chain now. Super small market cap, under $1 million, and looks like solid tech that they're working with. And so to me, that's worth a wager on a super small cap, right? I don't typically, invest in things that are, so small, because I think, you go further up the risk ladder, right? When you're dealing with super micro caps, but at the same time, the reward is substantial if it plays out. And this is something that, in crypto, someone asked up above, how high of a market cap do I think it could get? I don't know the answer to that. I have to do more homework. But in crypto, $100 million market cap is it's nothing. If you look at historical, is this it? This is a historical snapshot from pretty much the top of the market last cycle. And I'm going to load a whole bunch to see how many coins had a $100 million market cap. It's had about 500 coins. Right now, consider that there'll likely be twice as much money flooding into the system this cycle, you're talking about like 1,000, you might have like a top 1,000 coins with $100 million market cap. So that's not a lofty goal, right? $100 million market cap is not lofty. That would represent almost a 200x. Now it's high risk because, it's a super micro cap. But that's the type of asymmetrical bet I'm willing to take, right? When I see something that's a real product that's being used to save lives, and they have team members like that. And remember, narrative matters more than anything in crypto, right? Narratives and stories frame market caps and a lot of movement on chart. And so I like what I see so far out of SkyPath. Actually, since I started talking about it, I've gotten, Up Crypto, who's tied to it, reached out, and I've set up a live stream with the team on Sunday. So those of you who are in the SkyPath community, or those of you who are interested in learning more about SkyPath, come join me on Sunday for a live stream, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I'll be talking to the team. If you have questions about the project, we'll get them answered. They're also doing a giveaway on stream, $50 in AVAX, $50 in SkyPath token to 2 people in the comments. So, this is a small part of my portfolio, but it's one that, could do very well, right? We talk about, 10, 20x gains are nice in crypto. This could get to $12 million market cap and be a 20x. So that's kind of an asymmetrical bet, right? Asymmetrical meaning, you put $1,000 in or $500 in, and it goes to zero, you lose $500. But $500, on a 20x, you're at $10,000. That's an asymmetrical bet, which is why I love crypto, right? Why we're all here playing this game is because of the value proposition. And it's like no other space. When you get to a crypto bull run, you get these crazy astronomical gains. And so I'll be monitoring this one. And welcome to the SkyFam crew. There are a lot of them in here. Trey and Hotwire in the house, SkyFam. We got another boasted 98 Rush in the house. So welcome and come through on the stream. I'm going to jump to the bottom before I move on. Yeah, it's on AVAX. I swapped in MetaMask. Yeah. Justin, what's good? Justin says big moves. Eli, you put over or under 1K in SkyPath? I put over 1K, but it's not like a large part of my portfolio. So everything is relative, right? I don't really like talking about how much money I put in. Everything is relative. And let's go. Freedom of speech number 1 put 6K. Wow, we got some whales up in here. Hotwire over 6K. And the community of SkyPath is strong, right? They're all up in here. I've got over 5K in Sky because I'm so bullish on the real world application and integration of the tech on chain. Yep. I was 10K, had to back off some. And the thing is to keep in mind with small caps is that they're very volatile, right? They're super volatile. So I bought, my first buy-in was maybe around here, the 2.8 level. It spiked up and it dumped off to 1.6, right? And I wasn't, you have to be prepared for volatility if you're buying and I'm sure you're familiar, right? If you're in crypto, you understand the volatile nature. But when you get to small caps, that volatile nature is ratcheted up a bit. I'm in Pal AI, which was, and Sky was, shout out to the Telegram, Ron's Telegram. I first learned of SkyPath there. Also learned of Paladin AI there. I got in on this at about $1 million market cap. AI has been on fire, and I've caught a 6x off it already. And it looks like it's going to break out some more. But my point was that look at the volatility. This is Pal AI. Rocketed up to 5 cents, crashed all the way back down to a little over a penny, went all the way back up to 6 cents. So it lost 80% of value in 3 weeks. And then within a week or 2 weeks, did another 4x. When you get into the trenches of super small caps in crypto, you need to be mentally prepared for that volatility. And anytime I buy any token, I'm also prepared for it to go to zero, right? That's just how you have to play the game, because there is inherent risk in the space. And if you're good with that, then you can withstand that volatility. Up crypto in the house. Yes, sir. What's up? So he'll be on the channel here on Sunday. Yeah, and Justin says saves lives. It does. All right. Let's get into, you want to talk about Devve? Let me just look at my notes real quick. Let's talk about Devve, which is new. It's a new project. It's got some hype around it. It just launched, just came out February 8th. Right? A bunch of us in the Telegram were in the pre-sale. For some of us, didn't work out, including myself. A bunch of people got in, though. It did a 4x immediately out the gate. And it's held strong, right? So a lot of these things, things come out, new tokens come out, they pump and immediately sell off. Devve, I don't even know how to pronounce it. Is it Devve or Devve? Regardless, it's been consolidating strong and looking like it wants to take out that all-time high and blow past $2. And again, why do I like it is, for one, I love a good layer one. I love, my biggest holding last cycle was Solana. I loaded up on Solana in the bear market in spite of people, telling me it was going to go to zero. It was at $8. I was buying up Solana from $8 to $25. I accumulated a bunch because layer ones, and a proven layer one got confirmed by the market last cycle, right? I mean, Solana got confirmed by the market last cycle. So a good layer one can run up into the billions, right? In terms of market cap. And now, will that happen for Devve? I don't know. It's getting to be more and more of a crowded field, right? While there'll be more money in the space, in the whole overall crypto market, it's going to be spread out amongst a whole bunch of coins. And there'll be a whole bunch of layer ones. But let's take a look at it. The market cap right now is about $30 million. All right, I'll talk about price in a second. Let's do a quick overview of it. And there are a couple of things that set it apart. All right. First, they build themselves as the cryptocurrency of the future, and they really hang their hat on, being like promoting ESG projects, right? And so it's an environmentally not only environmentally friendly, but a lot of the projects that they're building on, they are aimed towards and geared towards, improving the environment. So, many of us wouldn't care about something like that. But when you talk about big companies, corporations, countries, they care about these things, right? The ESG narrative is strong amongst big business. And one of the knocks on Bitcoin by government officials has been its energy consumption, right? And we saw Ethereum shift from a proof of work to proof of stake because of that whole, concern, and so they're hanging their hat on this. It's one of their main focuses and drives. They're investing in ESG companies and projects. The vast majority, 90% of token sales go toward investing in ESG projects that create measurable and verifiable impact assets, carbon, methane, plastics, etc. So they're all about carbon reduction. So that's one thing that sets it apart. A second thing is that they are purportedly the fastest blockchain in the world. And Tectum just set the record for one of the reasons why I love Tectum is because they are the fastest blockchain. 1.3 million transactions per second for Tectum. They just broke the record, literally, right? Doing a test run and successfully did it. Devve is reportedly able to do over 8 million transactions per second, right? Which is 8 times faster than Tectum at a fraction of the cost of what it takes to, transact on Ethereum. 1/10 millionth the cost of Ethereum. They use sharding technology, which is, in the roadmap for Ethereum whenever they get through with that. But so, Devve looks interesting. Someone in the Telegram, I think it was B-Dubs, mentioned how Ron from Crypto Banter was talking about it. I'm sure that they're invested in it. And these are the types of things that I like, again, because, you're stretching to, I love games for a living and I love Mcade. Games for a living and Nakamoto, it's a stretch to get to 10 billion. We talk about the OMI token. It's a stretch to get to 10 billion, $15 billion market cap. For layer ones, it's not a stretch, right? They can do it. $10 billion market cap is not crazy. If you look at look at the previous market cycle and look at the historical market cap of some of these, like Polkadot, $50 billion. That's not even including, Sol, I think got up to 90 billion last cycle at its peak. Even like Near Protocol, VeChain, smart contract platform, $10 billion. Near Protocol got to about, I think it got close to $10 billion. And so when I look at something like Devve, that's where my eyes go. Can it get to that $10 billion market cap? And what kind of gains would that be? Now, first and foremost, you would think coming from a $30 million market cap, which is what it's at now. This isn't the fully diluted. This is what it's at now. 31 million. That a 31 million to 10 billion, do the math. That's crazy X's. However, there's more to it, right? And that's where a bit of research comes in. You have to look at the token unlocks. And if you look at it right now, 300 million total supply, 20 million currently unlocked, representing about, I want to say 7% of circulating supply is out. That's not a lot. And if you look at their vesting schedule, this is where we're at right around here, right? 6.5%, 7%. It's a very steep uphill vesting to the end of the year. So this is going to get heavily diluted by the end of the year, more so than Tectum. So Tectum is getting diluted by about 50%. This is getting diluted by about 500%, 400 to 500%. So when you look at that market cap, you have to adjust it. It's not really, if you're looking to hold this till the end of the cycle, or let's say 2025, and sell, that $30 million market cap, you should adjust it in your head to really like 120 million. And then you have to project that out. So I made a chart for Devve, $1.55 today, 6.6% in circulating supply. There will be 31% by the end of the year. All right, so adjusted for dilution, it's about 93 million, right, which is about half of what Tectum is right now. So $1 billion market cap would be about a 10x extrapolating out to 2025. All right. Not a 30x. If you went off of, this number, whatever this, the $30 million market cap it is today, and you project it out to 1 billion, that would be more like a 30x. But the dilution is going to make it a 10x. All right. So, but no problem, I don't think, getting to $1 or $2 billion. 2 billion would be 20x. But this is something that could get, if it gets close to what Near Protocol did, that's a 50x. But again, the beauty of layer ones is that they can go beyond that. If the community is right, if is built out, if developers develop and the narrative gets hot, and it's got the ESG thing going for it and the fastest blockchain title that it will take from Tectum. And so could I see it at a $10 billion market cap? Yes, it's possible. But that would give it 100x. If it really caught fire, it possibly goes beyond that. Right? It's like I said, it's not crazy to think of layer ones going to 20, 30, $40 billion market cap. Is this the one? We don't know. We'll see. But I like Tectum. I like Devve, and I like Tectum. If you look at Tectum, so looking at them now, Devve is about 1/5 or about 1/5 the market cap of Tectum. I'm going to show you guys my chart in a second that lays side by side a bunch of the things that we are invested in to give you some context on how well these could do. But let me get back into the chat before I do that. Trey says, we love our project and community in Sky. Yes, sir. Mo Collections, I moved my 7x in OPSEC investment into 2 low-cap AI coins that have yet to move, Pal AI, and they are started to see money. Yeah. Pal AI is absolutely, it's been volatile, but the good thing about Pal AI is that it's only at like a $6 million market cap. So there's room for it to grow. Let me jump down a bit. Doge Nation, hey brother, if Omi gets on this exchange, do you think whales dump sell the news? It's interesting that it hasn't run up more prior, like now with the speculation of the exchange. It's interesting that it hasn't run up more, which means that I don't know. It's already had a run. People are letting it cool off. I I can see it selling off a little. It wouldn't surprise me to sell off a little. Do I think it will? I don't know. It's hard to say. Yes, I have heard of BRN Metaverse Coin. I have. I've looked at it. I don't own it. Picked up a decent amount of Dev. Didn't want to miss it run like Tet. Yeah. And I think that Dev is going to run. I think that, again, it's going to break the all-time high, which is, I mean, it's a recent all-time high. So you can see it consolidating here. It'll break past $2, and then it goes into price discovery and tries to turn that $2 into support. GTN has 17 insiders buying in the last week that funds. I'm not sure. GTN. Justin bought some Dev. ESG is a scam. You think corporations? They don't. Yeah. But it's something that, it's a narrative, and it's something that people hang their hats on. And like DK says, regulation is key for companies, governments, states. Yeah, Dev is supposedly faster than Tectum. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. I sharded the last time I had the stomach flu. That's too much information, Doge. FLWS must have sold plenty of flowers and gift baskets with a buy rating. Yeah. Let's see. Justin says Trump gets a Skypath unlock. Imagine. That's funny. IMX is solid, Daniel. Yeah, IMX has done well. I think it will continue to do well. The winners will keep on winning, I think, this cycle. And IMX is a winner. Big, bigger. It's a big cap. And so it'll put in less multiples than some of like the more degen stuff, but there's more safety in it. So I do like IMX. Infrastructure play for the gaming sector. Strong layer 2. Mcade. Yeah, let's talk about Mcade. Justin says he's glad he picked more up. And then I'm going to get to my new chart. Wow, Mcade pumped even more. It's up almost 50% now from its bottom. And Ron called this bottom perfectly in the Telegram. He said I'm not a TA guy, and so I lean on the TA guys. He said if it, bounces off of here, then likely the bottom is in. It did just that. It bounced off. And here we go. Remember that Mcade is starting marketing now. Mcade just brought on Jamie King, I think his name is, which I talked about in my last stream. I'm going to bring it up again. This is fundamentally bullish for the project. Gaming is a crowded field, right? When I think about Mcade and I think about the upside potential to it, I also always, all of my holdings, I think about what could hold it back, right? And in my mind, for Mcade, it's a crowded field in gaming, and how does it set itself apart? Now with Jamie King on board, who is a co-founder of Rockstar Games, producer of many of the games in the GTA series, right? I think 2, 3, and Vice City. Not only does he open up networking paths for them and bring a level of expertise, but it also benefits the narrative of Mcade and the story, right? Because again, a lot of this stuff is narrative driven. So I think what we're seeing is the price reacting to that last AMA. And the bullish things on the horizon. Marketing, new team members, including this guy, tournaments pending, a lot of things in the works for Mcade. And if you've been paying attention to this channel, we've been talking a lot about it. So it's good, and it's been like a stable coin, right? If you look at the chart, I mean, it had popped back in November, and it's, for the last month and a half, it's been a stable coin. But here we go. And possibly maybe we go out to test, 1.6 level, right before possibly trying to get back to those all-time highs. Is that the all-time high, or is that no, it's not the all-time high, but it's the local high. So bullish stuff for Mcade. And now let's get into my new chart. So a lot of people, myself included, when I think about what am I buying, and I think about, well, what will give me the best returns from here? And there are a lot of things that go into play, right? And also risk. But I made this chart that, let me freeze this. So I made this chart, and I started with 8 coins: Tectum, Mint Layer, Devve, Games for a Living, Mcade, Playable Games, Hello, Omi, and Mask. And thinking about where would a 10x take us? What would the market cap be? Where would a 20x take us? A 50x, a 100x, 200x, to see what's possible, right? Because a lot of times we think about these things and we wonder, is a 200x possible for Omi? Is 100x possible for Mcade? 50x possible, whatever. So I think it's interesting to take a look. So in terms of Tectum, currently at about $30, a 10x would take us to a $2 billion market cap, and that accounts for future dilution, right? Which is important to think about. A lot of the stuff is going to get diluted. So when I look at Tectum, I think that, yes, $2 billion market cap, very doable. $4 billion market cap, $600 Tectum. I think that's very doable. Can it 50x and get to a $1,500 price? $10 billion market cap. I think for Tectum, that's possible, considering, it's a scaling solution for Bitcoin, layer 1, etc. 1 million, over 1 million transactions per second. Yes. Could it be 100x and get to a $20 billion market cap, $3,000 Tectum? Sounds crazy and out of this world. But I think it's feasible in the world of crypto. Let's take a look. And that seems crazy. But if you look at last cycle, that would put it around Terra Luna, Avalanche, Litecoin. So can it get close? And remember that a lot of these market caps are going to get bigger, right? So can it get to a top 20 coin? I think it's possible. Is it likely? Who knows? But it's something, it's a thought experiment, right? $40 billion, I think, would be stretching it. But I think that, a $20 billion Tectum is within the range of possibility. But at the, a $4 billion Tectum, 20x. I like that. I like my chances there, right? So that's TED. Mint Layer I bought as a hedge against TED. And what's interesting is Mint Layer is cheaper than Tectum, but will have more dilution. And if you look at it, it's going to end up the same multiples. A 10x will still get you to 2 billion based off of the amount of dilution on Mint Layer. A 20x will get you to 4 billion. So if it's a matter of Tectum or Mint Layer, right, taking into consideration that they are going to basically even out in terms of multiples, I like Tectum more. So that was interesting to see, because current market cap for Mint Layer, it's hard to find it, but my best guesstimates are about 63 million compared to 230 million for Tectum. But the dilution will cause it to inflate. All right, so that was interesting. Devve. Again, looking at it, you could get fooled and say $30 million market cap. That's so much cheaper than Tectum, right? That's a tenth, not a tenth, but 1/8 the price. But again, the dilution that it will incur means that it'll catch up in market cap. It won't quite catch up, but it's going to get there. So a 10x extrapolating out to 2025 would put it at a $1 billion market cap, which isn't 1/8 the price of TED. It's 1/2, right? So keep that in mind when you're valuing something like Devve in relation to Tectum. It's not as cheap as it looks right now. But 10x to a $1 billion market cap for Devve, yeah, feasible. 20x to a $2 billion market cap, definitely feasible. Then you get up to $5 billion market cap, which would bring it short of Near Protocol last cycle. 50x. I think Devve is a potential 50x coin. $75. Is it a potential 100x given the sector that it's in? I would say yes. It is a potential 100x coin, $150 Devve. $10 billion market cap. $20 billion market cap, which would mean that a lot would have to go right with it. It would have to be adoption. It would have to be a hot narrative and project with, big influencers talking about it. Would be a $300 Devve. So possible. Now, 200x is possible. Will it happen? Who knows? Again, I like to spread. It's early and the market hasn't confirmed these things. So I like to spread out and have hedges. So if Tectum doesn't quite work out, if something goes wrong, I have Devve. I have Mint Layer. And I'm positioned. But I like the potential upside potential of those projects. Let me jump to the chat real quick before I move on. Justin says Ron's been killing it. Yes, he has. Brian says there's a lot of good projects this cycle. It's true. Give me a second. I need to turn off my heat. Yeah, Brian, you're 100% correct. I think it's one of the biggest struggles that people have, especially people who are newer, is feeling overwhelmed with the number of projects. I think there are key things that you have to tell yourself. One is that you can't catch them all. You're going to miss the majority of them. There are thousands of projects out there. Many of them have already done multiple X's. You don't have to catch them all. You just have to catch some, build out your positions, and cash out at the right time, right? So don't stress it. Do your research, find things that you have conviction in, and build out a portfolio of different risk, risk reward. Jess says Sky is her number one. Definitely checking all these out. Yeah, a lot of good stuff here. Eli, we buying Octavia, created an Aitech launch pad, right? Yeah. I went to buy Octavia today I woke up, I set my alarm for 7 a.m. because Octavia was debuting today on Mcade, and the list price to the public was 10 cents. But it immediately shot up to $1. It was crazy. And I had buy orders in at 20 cents, 10 cents. I didn't get them. It's at 57 cents. I'm waiting on it. Fully diluted market cap, 56 million. I'm going to wait on it to see if it dumps off. But this is an AI token, brand new, literally born today to the public. AI tech, I love. And AI tech has run wild. It's flipped bags in my portfolio. Look at that chart. Crazy. $60 million market cap. I didn't catch the bottom. I got it kind of like in here, but I caught many multiples. I think I'm up a good 300%. I like AI tech a lot. I wouldn't chase things like this right now. I would let them cool off. But AI tech is a software as a service platform. They've got a partnership with Tectum. They are outsourcing their software, their technology to companies and corporations. This is something that I think could get, I'm going to do one of my charts for it. I think it could get into the hundreds of millions in market cap, potentially $1 billion. We'll see. It's hard for me to decipher coins and AI because there are so many. Everything is AI, right? They throw AI on the end of something. And then there are all the bots. There's Palm AI, Pal AI, and so many bots, bot AI tokens. It's a cluttered field. And that leads back to what Brian said. It's hard to find or figure out. AI tech stood out to me from the beginning. And so I'm holding that one. Justin says, Vice City is inviting blockchain with open arms. That'd be amazing. I'm not familiar with Kujira. DK, Social Trinity joined Mcade yesterday. Yep. Bullish for Mcade. Jordan, what's good? Jordan in the house. Do you think the privacy narrative will come back? A lot of big exchanges delisted. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm going to get back to my chart in a second, which has OMI in there. It's interesting to look at OMI alongside those things. But the privacy narrative is interesting. On the one hand, you've got major exchanges delisting a lot of privacy stuff. We saw it with Monero. Let me see how Monero is holding up. It was delisted from Binance and some other exchanges. Monero's still doing all right. Oh, look at that. Fell off a cliff. This was in February 5th. Something must have happened because this was delisted before that, I think. Yeah, way before. So on the one hand, though, it is correct. Privacy tokens are going to find themselves kind of like out, on the outskirts of major exchanges. On the other hand, I think as the election heats up, we're in an election year in the United States, the CBDC, I think, will be a hot topic of conversation. I can see privacy working its way into the public conversation and into the crypto conversation. And that's one thing. The other thing for privacy tokens is that there are so many more people who are now familiar with DEXs and speak native crypto language now. And so, I think that they can do well, maybe not get to the crazy market caps, but still do well. And I like Mass Token, as you know. And let me get back to my chart because it's in there. Here we go. So we talked about TET, Mint Layer, and Devve in terms of possible gains. And, I do think that 50x possible on TET, maybe 100x. That would be a stretch, right? Games for a living, 3 cents at the time of this recording, $50 million market cap. It's going to incur a lot of dilution also, right? So like a lot of these gaming things, a 10x would bring it to a $2 billion market cap. Feasible. 20x would bring it to a $4 billion market cap. I think also feasible. That's about where Gala was last cycle. But then I think you start stretching when you get to the upper levels, right? I think a 50x for games for a living, $10 billion market cap is possible, but I think that's where you're starting to stretch valuation, right? I think with those layer ones, you stretch valuations over here, 20, even beyond that. Games for a living, 10 billion, 50x. It's possible, $1.50. I'm eyeing like $1 for games for a living, right? Not quite the 50x from here. But a lot of people are drawn to Mcade because it's fully diluted, coming from a smaller market cap. So it's not that cap isn't going to be stretched out. And that's part of the value proposition that a lot of people in this community and, people who watch my channel, Ron's channel, or in the Telegram, a 10x from current price of, 1 1/3 penny only brings it to a $220 million market cap, right? So 20x, 440 million. That's not a ton. And you talk it to 50x, you can to a billion. And so I think that the potential is greater. The reward is greater with Mcade, right? 100x to 2 billion, a 200x to 4 billion. The reward is greater. Now, does it get there? It's a crowded field, right? That's the downside risk. Sometimes the winners keep on winning, and games for a living and Naka could end up outperforming all those things, right? Games, Naka could go to a $15 billion market cap and just outperform because winners keep on winning. But that's why I'm spread out in a basket of gaming projects. I consider Naka the safest and Miria of the ones that I hold. Games for a living, I feel, is a little maybe safer than Mcade. But I love the risk-reward ratio of Mcade, right? So bullish on it. And also bullish on playable games, which, Mcade's kind of creeping up on playable games in terms of market cap. Playable games has gotten beaten down, $37 million market cap. Mcade, 23 million prior to this newest pump. It's higher now. It's creeping up. But playable games is going to be heavily diluted, right? So they look close right now, but 5 billion more tokens coming into circulation for playable games means a 10x brings it to a billion relative to Mcade's 10x, right? And 20x is 2 billion, 50x is 5 billion. What I love about playable games is the branding. They are going after it in terms of their branding and how they, build themselves. They say they now have over 1.1 million followers on CoinMarketCap community. Nexus, which is their only game out right now, has averages over 6,000 daily players, according to this post. Play to earn game in the Epic Game Store. So I also like playable games, but it will be diluted more, right? So there's that to think about. And then everyone talks about Omi, right? And where does Omi stack up in terms of multiples? Now that it's past a tenth of a penny, a 10x brings it just shy of its previous all-time high. A penny, $3 billion market cap. A 20x would be beyond its all-time high, 6 billion. And a lot of people are calling for 5 cents. And I've said that that's stretching. That's like my bull case scenario, like super bull case scenario, 15 billion. Now it'd be 5 cents. But some of these other, you hear talk of a 10-cent Omi. That's 100x from where we are now, 200x from cycle bottom, $30 billion market cap. To put it into historical context, last cycle, 30 billion would have got it just outside the top 10. That's a lofty goal. And typically, digital collectibles platforms don't command market caps of $30 billion. So if you have dreams of a 10-cent Omi, I would downsize expectation. I think if all goes right and things pop off, I think best case would be about 5 cents. But again, like I said, a 10x from here, $3 billion market cap is not small. And would actually bring it back to around where it was last cycle in terms of market cap, because it wasn't fully diluted last cycle. And so it's something to think about, right? When you think about what do I buy and what multiples could it do? It's good to see it on paper, I think, or in a chart, side by side, other things, so you can juxtapose these things. The last one I threw on there was Mask, the privacy token. And Mask, could do a 50x and get to 750 million. I think that's feasible. All right, so that's my latest chart. I'm going to be adding to it in the coming days, because I think it's just interesting to lay these things side by side. Hopefully you guys find some value in there. Jump back into the chat. Crypto is definitely more interesting. Absolutely. Love crypto. Ernesto says, hello, guys. Good to be in here with you. Good to have you here, Ernesto. VRA, I saw VRA recently went up. I had it in my portfolio and I dropped it for something. Let's check out Veracity. I like it. Reminds me of Omi. There's a lot of FUD in the community. A lot of bag holders. It's been kind of muted. $70 million market cap. I like Veracity. I don't hold it at the moment. I once did. I thought that there would be better plays out there. So Aitech is one of my best tokens now. Absolutely. Mcade smashing too. Yes, sir. I ask his mask market cap looks juicy, but hesitate to put money in. Oh, perfect, pro, legendary. I have mask. I have a good bag of mask. And the market cap is juicy. And I think it could. I think mask. It's a solid project, fully diluted, great team. Again, wouldn't have to hit $1 billion in market cap to get a 50x, a 20x to a $300 million market cap. I like that. And I like exposure to privacy. So I like a lot of things about mask, and that's why I hold it. Mcade tokenomics are great. Yeah. Plus, Mcade is initiating burns, right? So it's going to be deflationary. At least have that narrative. I don't know how much it's going to eat into circulating supply. Brian says he has Omi and Sky. What should I get next? It's really up to you. And, all those coins that I just mentioned are solid. I think TET is at that $30 range. I think that's a good price for it. Again, I like Devve. I just bought some of that. I think Games for a Living is at a good price. It depends on how you want to position yourself. But buy something that you have conviction in. And gaming, AI is running right now, right? And you look at the charts, and we've looked at them. Look at Delicium, which I don't have. I should have listened to you, G Money. It's been on my watch list, and I didn't buy it, but look at it. Crazy. Right? Just did a 3x in a week. But look at AI from December 20th to February 13th. 2 months of nothing. 2 months of consolidation on AI. A lot of the charts look similar. And then you look at gaming right now, which was that narrative was hot. November, December. It's gotten boring and cooled off. All right, look at it. Peaked in November. And, for 2 months, gaming has been kind of flat. That's Games for a Living. Playable Games is down a bunch. They look similar. Naka has shown strength recently. Right? Naka has shown strength. Couldn't take out that local high of $2. Right? Couldn't stay above it. But these gaming tokens are going to get hot again. And so I've spent the last couple months building out my positions. I now have strong positions in Playable Games, Games for a Living, Mcade, and Naka, and a couple others. And there's going to come a time when they take out these highs, go into price discovery, and get fun again. And then when they really heat up, they're going to do crazy things, right? Like we saw last cycle when the metaverse stuff got super hot, when it was real alt season, right? Right now, we're like here. Like we're seeing these little pumps in the market. The real fun happens later, and that's these parabolic moves, straight lines, where you're doing multiples daily. That's when the fun happens. And so for me, it's about preparing for that And I'm not looking to take profits right now. People say, am I taking profits on things? I'm not. I'm letting things ride because in my mind, this is where we're at. Right? And if you pull up old coins, they all look the same. I've talked about this before. Pull up old charts. There's OMI. Those parabolic run-ups. They all look the same, right? Let's look at Axie. I think Axie may have doubled. Look at Axie. Right? So right now, we're here in these small gains. They seem big, right? But Axie went from, 70 cents to $5. That's an 8x. Seemed like a lot. And then it did another 20x off of that, right? So that's where we're at. We're at the point in this cycle where things are starting to become clearer and starting to heat up, but they've not heated up yet. And so I'm just positioning myself accordingly and waiting patiently for those straight lines up. And that's when we're going to be making crazy gains in alt season. It's good to buy BRN Metaverse to catch a short-term pump. It's going to be Burns in April. 5-cent OMI for me, around 6 million USD. That'd be crazy, Jordan. And that's only a piece of your portfolio. That's crazy. Just sell before that, right? Layer out. I know Mcade burned 21 million from supply. There is a continuous burn mechanism in place. Not sure how much will be burnt consistently, but we'll find out. And DK answered that question. All righty. Thanks, Eli. Appreciate you. I am going to call it a day here. Went on for about an hour and a half, and maybe I'll go back on live tomorrow. I'm off for this week. I've got Sanjay and Kampa coming on Thursday. I've got Skypath Technology coming on Sunday. Maybe I'll do another solo tomorrow. I want to thank you all for coming through. Make sure you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. And have a good night. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.